What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Terry DeRon, and it's another episode of Terry's 20 where I talk about some recent posts and I respond to questions that are submitted to me in my DMs or by email. So, we got a couple of interesting questions and a couple of interesting posts that I'll be going over tonight. The first post that I'm going to be talking about is a question that said, what are your thoughts on meeting on a dating app and getting into a long distance relationship? To me, that's a red flag. Somebody that got on a dating app and is trying to jump into a long distance relationship, to me, that's an indication that that person is desperate or anxious to be in a relationship. And those are usually bad reasons to get in relationships. When it comes to meeting somebody on a dating app, you want to try to take your time to get to know them. You want to take, this could be months, it could be several months. There's no reason to rush into a long distance relationship. But what you typically see in this type of situation is where somebody meets somebody on a dating app, they like their pictures, they start chit chatting, and y'all start chit chatting so much that it feels like y'all are together. Y'all talking every day, you texting in the morning, you're calling or texting throughout the day, etc. And it can give you the feeling of being in a long distance relationship. But the problem is you really haven't figured out if y'all are compatible or not. Sparking interest with somebody through a dating app or online and then engaging with them in communication, that's not really the same thing as a long distance relationship, right? Because you don't know if this person have your back if something really went down. You know what I mean? If there was an emergency situation. So doing that with somebody that you just met on a dating app that you've had a brief interaction with does not seem like a really good move to me. I would recommend you pump your brakes and take more time getting to know the person. Let's see. The next post that I want to talk about says, I'm dating a guy with friends with benefits, and he keeps leaving an item of his behind at my house. If he's intentionally leaving items behind at your house, he's passive aggressively trying to make sure you're not messing with other men. And the logic behind it is if you are having other men at your house and they see your brush, it's the same kind of logic behind women doing it. If someone else that you're messing with sees something that he left behind, that will create a rift or some type of conflict between you and that person and possibly cause them to leave the situation. That's passive aggressive behavior, so it's can be problematic if he handles other things in life in a passive aggressive way. But you are totally free to bring it up or call him out on it, or why you keep leaving your stuff. Like you can bring it up or discuss it with them. It's not problematic to do that. But he may not be the type of dude that feels comfortable sharing how he feels about you or letting you know he wants to take things to the next level. So you may have to assist him in that regard. But I would bring it up, and you can bring it up in a joking way, in a playful way, or whatever the case may be. But that's typically what that's an indication of. All right, this was just some feedback I got. It said, I just want to say thank you, bro, for sharing and helping your fellas with their relationship issues. We love you. I appreciate the love, man. It feels good to get feedback from guys thanking me for sharing their perspective on things or sharing what men have to experience and deal with, because that's obviously something that most other relationship people don't do. Most relationship advice is centered around what women experience with men or telling men what they do wrong or what they need to change. So I feel like I'm in a position where I have the dating experience and the experience being married. I have the communication skills and the personality to be able to articulate a lot of things that men deal with on a regular basis that either create conflicts with women, things that cause women to struggle with dating, or cause men to either cheat or end relationships. So it feels good to be able to articulate things in a way and be so authentic that other men appreciate it and give me, the cosign and see me as somebody that they feel is credible. All right, so let's see. The next question that I had, is it okay to tell someone you initially started dating they should lose weight? I don't think you should tell them that they should do it, or you should. I don't think you should come to them in that way. You dating somebody does not give you the authority to tell them what they should or shouldn't do. You can express your thoughts or feelings about their weight or how their weight gain may be impacting the relationship. It could make you desire them less. It could be turning you off. Whatever the case may be. You're perfectly fine to express that to a person, but I don't think you're in a position to be able to just tell somebody that they need to lose weight. Um, that's a very sensitive area. You know, losing weight is something that a very large percentage of people struggle with. So to just tell somebody that they have to lose weight just because you're dating them, I can see that getting a hostile response and a type of who the fuck you think you are type of vibe. You know what I mean? So I would definitely tone down, you know, the word choice when you present the weight loss scenario or how you feel about their appearance. Especially if you need to lose some weight yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like you better make sure you on point before you come to somebody like that. Let's see. The next question I have is, what do men like for Valentine's Day? Most guys don't really care about Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is primarily a holiday for women and marketing slash sales. They get women to expect gifts. Men that are trying to pursue women romantically or in relationships with them are obligated to do dinners and buy gifts, diamonds, you know, marriage proposals, etc. So it's a whole holiday centered around romance, and it's predicated on men showing their love for women by buying them things. Now that's something that women primarily care about. As far as what men like, men are appreciative whenever they get gifts or things that they didn't expect to get. It could be something simple, some cologne, some Air Max, some shoes. You know what I'm saying? An outfit. It could be something very small. I don't think you're going to get a complaint out of a guy unless it's a situation where he went above and beyond for you. That's usually done based off a woman setting that expectation by their interactions, you know, prior to Valentine's Day. But if he goes above and beyond for you and you don't do anything for him for Valentine's Day, that can create some animosity and some bad blood. But if you just do something basic for him, get him something he likes, take him somewhere he enjoys, that's more than enough for most guys. Let's see. Next question. Can a friends with benefit situation of 7 years off and on turn into a relationship? Yes, it's possible that it could become a relationship. Any situation where you are interacting with somebody on a regular basis and having sex with them could potentially become a relationship if the circumstances present themselves. I would consider it to be unlikely, because if you've been fucking a dude for 7 years, he could have made it very clear if he wanted to be in a relationship with you. He's obviously been involved with other women throughout that time, and you've obviously been dating other guys. So if he wanted to be in a relationship with you, he would have at least discussed it with you by this time. So I would not expect much change, or I wouldn't sit around hoping and wishing that it becomes a committed relationship. If you haven't expressed your feelings to him about it being a relationship, I don't think your situation crosses over to the neighborhood of being a situationship, which is basically a situation where one person wants it to be a committed relationship while the other person wants it to remain a friends with benefits type situation. So it's possible. You need to discuss it with him, see what his thoughts and feelings are on it. You should know that by now, but obviously you don't. So that's a conversation that you should have with him, and you need to be prepared, you know, for him to give you the answer you want to hear and the answer you don't want to hear, and so that you can respond accordingly. I think it would be messed up if you, well, I guess it's not necessarily messed up, but if you come to him like with if you don't want to be with me, then we ain't gonna have sex no more, because then it'll be like, well, damn, I thought you enjoyed the sex we've been, you know what I'm saying? Like he's under the impression you enjoy fucking him, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, discuss it, see what his thoughts are, see what his perspective is on it, and go from there. Let's see. What is the appropriate time to introduce your child to your boyfriend or girlfriend? Um, Now, obviously, how the age of the child it plays a factor in that, but I would say that my thought on that is I think you should at least introduce them once you decide that this person is going to be a normal part of your life. Once you've decided that this is somebody I'm going to really be dating, or it's more than just one or two dates. It's somebody that I'm talking to on a regular basis. We interacting every week, etc. You talking to them, you talking to your friends about them on a regular basis. Like, once you got to that level where they're a part of your life, I think that's where you should begin introducing them to your children. At least to get a feeler on how they interact with them and how your child feels about them. I think a lot of women make the mistake by making it a grand event. Like acting like we have to be engaged, or putting some astronomical expectation on simply meeting your kid. That's something that could easily be done on a much smaller level. It could be going to a water park. It could be going bowling. It could be doing something that is family friendly, where you and the guy can interact and hang out. He can interact with your child and possibly play and hang out a little bit, so that you can see what type of vibe they have from one another. That's the approach that I would take, because if you wait until it's a serious relationship, or you already in love, or you pregnant by him or something like that, then what if it's a problem? What if they don't get along? What if your child, your child has an issue with him, or their personalities clash, etc. If you wait until you've invested a large amount of time, then it's going to be harder to cut ties if that's what needs to be done. So I don't think there's necessarily a specific time, 2 months, 6 weeks, or whatever. But once you've come to the conclusion that this is somebody we hang out, every couple of days, or every week, or what the case may be. Once they're a regular part of your life, that's when I think you should start seeing if y'all really compatible or not. Because if a man's not compatible with a woman that has kids, then at best y'all are gonna just be able to be friends with benefits. You know what I mean? Like, so to me, I don't think you should wait that long. I would push towards sooner. Just don't make it seem like you telling them you about to meet somebody that you gonna make their dad, or mommy might be getting married. Like, don't set expectations for your child. You can just be like, hey, you don't even have to tell them about the dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, we going bowling. He can meet y'all there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can be like, hey, this is Charles from my job. Like, or this is Charles. Like, it doesn't have to be something significant, because if the child is somewhere where they can interact with other kids or do something to keep them distracted, they don't really care. You know what I mean? All right, let's see. My boyfriend said he's punishing me by not saying or talking to me. Is it over? I don't necessarily know if it's over, but if you're in a relationship with that type of guy, it sounds like y'all are going to have a dysfunctional relationship, because he exhibits passive aggressive behavior. Just not talking to you or not coming around you because y'all have a conflict, that's really childish behavior, and that's never going to lead to a healthy, productive relationship. It doesn't automatically mean the relationship's over, but I don't see I can't envision you having a quality relationship if that's how he handles conflicts or disagreements. So this may be a relationship that you probably better off ending, or you should just talk to him and let him know what you think about his problem solving or conflict resolution skills, and see if y'all can work it out. You know what I mean? Like, you can't force him to handle things like an adult, but you can express your thoughts and feelings about his behavior, how he handles things, and go from there. That's really all you can do anytime you have a conflict in a relationship. This is an unrelated question. It said, what's your favorite bodybuilder? I'm not into bodybuilding, but the only person I know that is into bodybuilding is my godson, Darren. So Darren Partee would be my favorite bodybuilder. He's actually working to get his pro card and all that. So he be doing his pose, his routines and all that. So that would be my favorite bodybuilder, my godson. Let's see. All right, so I'm gonna get to a couple of posts that I was sent and asked to give my thoughts on. So this first meme that I was asked to give my thoughts on was a meme that shows a woman saying, "I'm the prize, I'm the blessing." I think that can be a real problematic mentality for people to have. Even if it applies, even if a person would be lucky and blessed to be with you, going around saying I'm the prize, I'm the blessing, or having that mindset is really problematic and really prevents a lot of people from having a healthy, productive relationship. Because the reality is the word prize doesn't really correlate to dating. Prize is something that you win, right? You go to the fair, you make a shot, or you win a game and you win a prize. You go to bingo and you do something. So you can win a prize based off luck. You know what I mean? Like, so for someone to feel like they are a prize or you're lucky to be with them, that might not be the case. Especially if you're dealing with somebody that's a quality person and has the credentials that would attract members of the opposite sex. So a woman that comes with this type of you're lucky and you blessed to be able to get me, that's going to be problematic for a guy that's successful with women and the type of guy that most women want to be with, because that's not how he's going to see it. I mean, think about it. If the biggest issues that women seem to have with men is getting them to commit or be monogamous or stop cheating, right? Or stop being involved with multiple women. So if even bums and men that ain't got their shit together are able to attract multiple women, why would he feel like he's so lucky to just be with you? You're not presenting anything that other women don't present or offer to the dating world. So that mentality kind of shows that a woman lacks a sense of reality and how things are from a male perspective. It's cool to have self-esteem and to feel like you're a good catch or whatnot, but that's definitely not something that you need to go around saying. I mean, even the men that are husband material don't go around yelling and proclaiming that they're the prize, because there's no need to. You know what I mean? Like, if you're involved with somebody and they actually enjoy their dating experience with you so much that they feel like that you're lucky or you're a blessing, they don't need you to tell them. That's a conclusion they can come to on their own. All right, this is a post. This was actually in my DM. It was pretty long, but it said, I've been dating someone for 9 months. I have 3 children from my previous relationship, and he has none. I am taking care of my kids and household on my own. I own a 4-bedroom home. I have a nice car, a decent job, and I'm also currently a student in school. My boyfriend has been staying every night at my house for the past 3 months. He literally goes home to get more clothes. He eats, showers, sleeps, and chills in my house. His lease isn't up until June, but my mortgage is $400 more per month than his rent. My utilities have gone up significantly since he's been here. I've never asked him for any money or to help with the bills. Am I wrong for thinking that he should start helping out with bills since he spends so much time at my house? It's basically like he lives here too, but I'm the only one paying the bills. I know he has his own bills to pay, but what are your thoughts? Okay, so now y'all are at the point where he's spending a majority of his time at your crib. This is where you should be discussing merging finances, because he's eating at your crib. He's using your water. He's taking showers. He's taking baths. He's doing things like he's spending all his free time there. So what is that also doing? It's saving him money on his bills. It's less electricity. If he's watching the game and doing all this chilling at your crib, then he don't even have to really pay cable at his house. He can suspend his shit. You know what I mean? Like, so to have a discussion about how expenses should be managed or how bills should be made, that's common sense. That you're not wrong for thinking that, and it's should be understood for anybody that is financing a household. The more people you have, the more time that they spend there, the more money it's going to cost for food, electricity, and utilities. And bringing a whole man into the fold significantly increases things. So if you've been dating him almost a year, you could definitely discuss with him how much his being at your house has increased your expenses, and y'all can go from there. That may mean that he spends a night less, or he tones it down and spends more time at his house, which would be fine. You can't complain about him making adjustments. You know what I mean? Like, that should be fine too, because it'll decrease the amount of money that you are paying or you're spending, or he could offer to contribute something that's reasonable. So you're not wrong for thinking that, and that's something that you should be able to discuss with him. All right, this is a video that I was asked to give my thoughts on. This was a video of Lamar Odom and his fiance, and it's a response to him having a porn addiction and a known porn addiction. And so she gives her thoughts on how she monitors or controls his porn. Let's take a look.
So it definitely has allowed me to feel comfortable leaving Lamar in the house. Before Covenant Eyes, I just did not know what he was doing with his phone. I would be very paranoid about it. It gave me a lot of anxiety, and he would get caught sneaking, watching porn. But then once I was able to put the app on my phone and his phone, I think him just knowing he would get caught, he just stopped trying. And then here came Covenant Eyes, which was like, oh, you can keep your phone, you can do whatever you need to do, and if you do try to watch porn, I'll be notified. It was really fun going through it with him, because when he would get an urge, he would say, okay, I need to take a walk, you know, or let's go get some ice cream, or let's go get something. You know, he would deal with the anxiety.
All right, now, I think it's unnecessary or unproductive to be trying to control or monitor what another adult does. To me, that's something that parents do to their children. He seems like he's okay with it, so if a man subjects himself to being controlled or monitored by a woman, that's his business personally. But I don't really see how a relationship can be healthy or really productive under those circumstances. If you gotta get an app on your phone to be able to monitor what your partner is looking at on their phone, to me that's a sign of insecurity. And she kind of alluded to it. She was like, man, I used to feel paranoid about it, or it makes her feel some type of way. So she is insecure about him looking at porn. To me, that's the problem that needs to be addressed. You know what I mean? Like, obviously he knows that he has a problem with the amount of porn that he watches, but men are always going to see things that create lustful thoughts and feelings or turn them on sexually. So trying to eliminate or restrict that from a man's life seems to be counterproductive to me. So is she gonna be able to monitor everything he sees on his timeline? Is she gonna be able to monitor everything that he Googles? Is she gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way for you to monitor, especially what a millionaire man can access on his phone or his devices. So to me, it's just an indication that the woman is insecure and she's doing things to try to, you know, use technology to deal with her insecurities. I don't see that as being very successful. All right, let's see. What else do we have? All right, this is another post related to trying to control or a spouse. So this was a post that I was sent, and it said, I'll give you some guys' perspective. Y'all can talk shit all you want. I love my girlfriend. She's the prettiest, cutest, and greatest girl I've ever met. There's no way in fuck I'm giving any other girl my attention. She's not getting my like. She's not gonna have me in her comments saying gorgeous emoji eyes or any of that. My girlfriend is my teammate and my best friend, and I'm not gonna let any other girl feel like they even have a chance. And I'm definitely not gonna make my girlfriend look stupid. I know it's just a like, but even if a like means nice picture to me, I don't want her thinking I mean damn you're hot. It's basic principles and respect for your partner. If Tom, Dick, and Harry are posting selfies showing off their shit, I don't want her with heart reacts and likes all over his notifications. It really just boils down to respect. Now that talked about a couple of different things. There's a difference between liking a picture, double tapping a screen, and putting some type of thirsty comment under somebody's picture. Those are two completely different things. There are lots of people that feel like you shouldn't like other pictures if you're in a relationship and all this type of stuff. That thought process is usually rooted in insecurity. There's common rhetoric that goes along with it. I'm not going to have you out here looking stupid, right? Meaning, I'm not going to have other people saying that you like the picture. right? That's the whole purpose of social media. So liking a picture does not inherently make someone else look stupid. It just shows that you like the picture, right? But to make it seem as if liking a picture or finding someone else attractive is equates to not respecting your partner, that's not the case. What's showing respect to your partner is you not attempting to shoot your shot at that person. You're not attempting to create a romantic relationship with that person. That's the respect that you owe to your partner. It does not mean that I can't like that outfit. I can't like this picture. I can't like this dance. You can like whatever the hell you want to like on social media. As long as you keep it there. You restrict, you not sliding in DMs, trying to spark conversations to pursue people romantically. So whenever you have this type of mentality, now this person sounds like a high schooler or some type of kid, because he kind of has like a hopeless romantic, but she's the prettiest girl ever, she's the best. Like, that's not real or realistic kind of, but whatever. You can feel however you want to feel about your girlfriend or whoever you with. But to be paranoid or act as if a person liking another person's content is automatically hurting you or disrespecting you, that's a flawed perspective to have. And I do agree with the idea, though, that you should not be putting emojis and putting all type of thirsty comments. I don't think anybody would want their spouse or somebody in a committed relationship to be doing that. But that is not the same thing as simply liking a picture. That's not the same thing as simply interacting with people on social media. Sliding in DMs, sending some type of sexual message or some type of flirtatious comment are all things that I would consider off limits. Let's see. All right, the next question is, okay, so I've been dating a guy for about a month now, and we've been on 4 dates, and he's been a complete gentleman. But sometimes he goes missing for days. Should I be worried? So I guess it would have to depend on what do you mean by he's gone missing for days. Does that mean that you've reached out to him and he just ignored you those days? Or does that mean he's just gone days without reaching out to you? Those are two completely different things. If you've been talking to a dude and y'all been going on dates or whatnot, your phone works just like his does. So if they've been gone, there are days that y'all don't communicate or interact, then those are days that you had opportunities to reach out to him or interact with him from your end. If you've reached out to him and he's just ignored you for days, then that's something that's problematic and you should discuss it with him. A red flag is something, some type of action or behavior that you spot that gives you the indication you could have problems with that person in the future. I think it's reasonable for anybody to feel like if somebody that I reached out to or I'm kicking it with on a romantic level, ignoring me for multiple days is going to be problematic. So if you've reached out to him and he just didn't hit you back for days, then that is problematic and you should address it with him. If y'all have just went days without interacting, then that means you need to pick up the phone and start initiating some of the interacting. You know what I mean? Like, so I guess it depends on what's been going on in your particular situation, what advice would apply. But if things are going good, you like him, y'all going on multiple dates, reach out to him. You know what I mean? Like, if y'all not interacting for days is not automatically a problem. It's only a problem if you're being ignored for days at a time. All right, the final post that I wanted to talk about. This is a post that kind of been going viral today. I got sent by like 5 or 6 different people sent it to me. And this is a post where it says, it's a scenario. Man and lady have been dating for a while, and things are going great in the relationship. They usually spend a few nights a week sleeping over at each other's homes. She rents a high-rise apartment downtown for $1,800 a month. He owns a nice house in the suburbs that is paid for outright. Her lease is expiring, and with it comes a 10% rate increase, which will take her rent to nearly $2,000 a month. A conversation about moving in together came up, and they agreed that living together would be the natural progression of the relationship and will also give them both the opportunity to hit their individual financial goals more quickly since they would be sharing living expenses. instead of paying double for everything each month. He presented her with a proposed budget based on half the cost of the household bills, along with a rental amount of $800 per month, and she was flabbergasted. They are now at an impasse because she feels that she shouldn't have to pay any rent since he has no mortgage, and he feels that he sacrificed greatly to pay off his mortgage early without any financial help from her. And she should be happy because she is still saving thousands each month by living there. In your opinion, whose position makes the most sense? Well, both positions make sense from a logical perspective. But the difference is the female perspective is loaded with entitlement. And that's problematic for a lot of guys because a lot of women feel like they're entitled to things just because they're fucking a guy or they're dating a guy. So now let's look at this just from a logical perspective. So the woman by herself pays 100% of her utilities and she pays 100% of her rent. So, which is about to go, I would imagine it's over $2,000 total now, but it's going to increase. So, the man has paid off his home completely, right? So, I don't know what his expenses, his utilities are. But the scenario that he presented to her is you move in with me, where we merging our lives together, and you're going to get more space, right? You're going to be living with the man that you have in a successful relationship that could potentially lead to marriage, family, etc. And you're going to decrease your costs that you're currently spending from $2,000 plus to $800 plus. So between what, $1,200-$1,500, right, total, to live in a bigger space and have more options. He is going to be getting half the utilities paid and asking for the $800 in rent. Now, the only problem that I've seen a lot of women having with this is because it's their man, and he don't have a mortgage. So they're saying things like, I'm not going to be paying my man rent or paying no man rent. And what that is, that I talk about this all the time, it's women putting a price tag on the pussy. Or whenever they feel like they're romantically involved with the man, they feel like it comes with financial benefits. It's just usually unspoken. They don't usually say it out loud or don't state it directly. Because in this type of situation, the woman is winning. You're benefiting. You're going to be living a higher standard of living, going from an apartment to a house at less cost. And you're going to be closer to the man that you're building a relationship with. So this is a win-win-win from her perspective. And it's a win-win from his perspective. The only thing that causes it to be viewed negatively is the woman's perspective on having to pay rent to the man. And like I said, that's the point of contention for a lot of guys because it's like a sense of entitlement. She didn't contribute to him paying off his house, right? And if she declines the option, that what she's saying is, I would rather not live with you and not pay $1,200. I'd rather spend $2,000 on my own instead of pay $800 to you. That seems extremely illogical. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if her bills at the new place that she's gonna end up moving to is gonna be $2,000 plus $2,400, that's 3 times what he's asking you for. You know what I mean? Like. And it's not like you're being hurt by moving in the situation. So it just goes to show how a lot of women will take something and view it negatively and make dating decisions that ultimately hurt them long term based off of their feelings over a particular thing, right? Because in this type of situation, right, let's just say it was reversed and a woman inherited, her dad died and she inherited a real nice crib. And her man's lease was up and he was like, man, we can move in together, whatever. A man would suggest a move like this to a woman. Like that, let me move in, we can split the bill 50-50 and I'll shoot you $800 or I'll shoot you a certain amount for rent. And I'll give you just money to you directly. Women, I don't think women would complain at all about a man offering to do something like that for a woman, right? Because the woman would instantly be able to see it as a win. Oh, damn, I'm having to pay less bills and you're giving me something in return. But a man would do that because he's seeing it as like, hell yeah, I'd much rather pay you $800 than pay them $2,000 to live in an apartment, right? And so those are the type of dating decisions or moves that just men and women just view differently. You know, men take the logical, practical perspective on it. Now, there are some guys that feel like they wouldn't ask the woman for the $800, and that's cool. I mean, it could be whatever the case may be. This particular scenario said 800. It could be low. She could say, man, what about 500? She could negotiate it or discuss it with him, but there are a lot of women that have a problem with the woman paying the man anything. They feel like, well, shit, you ain't got no mortgage, so I shouldn't have to pay you shit. So that's saying that you put in all the work to get in a position to have a house with no mortgage, but I should automatically reap that benefit too because I'm fucking you or I'm dating you. And that's where a lot of women got them in. A lot of guys like, man, you got me fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, she didn't do anything to earn the ability to live rent free. To go from living in a position where you pay 100% rent, 100% utilities, to go to where you only pay 50% utilities and don't have to pay anything else for your household expenses. What did she do to earn that? Besides start dating or fucking a man. What did she do to warrant being put in that position? Absolutely nothing. So that's where most guys are gonna have the issue. The woman, now there are women that see it like, man, she's tripping. I would love to do that because they see it. They realize how much of an advantage this would be to be able to save $1,200 a month. $1,200 a month, that's almost $15,000 a year. To be able to live in a bigger home, in a better situation, pay less utilities, and be living with the man you love. On paper, a woman would have to be a damn fool to turn down this type of situation. But it's another example of how women in their feelings and how they can view something negative or treat it as negative, even when it's not. And they'll make decisions that ultimately hurt them or make things more difficult for them. They do it in regards to dating all the time. So, this has been another episode of Terry's 20, man. I hope y'all appreciate it. Make sure y'all share the video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Keep the questions coming, man. I enjoy doing these. Y'all have a good one. Peace.